Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
Terrence.
What's up?
And Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This is episode 229, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. Again, this is streaming exclusively on Peacock. So if you have Peacock, check that out. Or you can see it in theaters as well. So the general premise of this movie is it stars Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown as the first lady and pastor of a megachurch who attempt to reopen and rebuild their congregation following a major scandal. And this is also directed by Adamma Ebo. There was also a 2018 short film by the same name. I haven't watched that yet, but again, you can watch this on Peacock or in theaters. So I will start with which way do I want to go on this? We'll start with Micah. You're the main religious person, right? Tiara, are you religious? I don't know. You don't act like you are.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you want some heathen shit. That makes sense.
Yes.
Micah, what are your thoughts on this movie?
Well, here's the thing. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, this might be something I could watch with my wife. You know, a funny little comedy spoofing religion. Then Jay saw it and was over the moon about it. So I was like, oh, well, this is just some fucking atheist bullshit laughing at religion. This is some Bill Maher religious shit, right?
I've never seen that documentary.
And, it's Bill Maher nonsense.
Thanks.
And so then I was like, I don't know if I really want to watch it. But I watched it before, we decided to do the show, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was a little of column A and a little of column B. I enjoyed it. I think I don't think it's the best movie in the world. I think that there are a couple of issues, but what I did like the most was the spoofing of these types of people. The pastor and the first lady. I enjoyed the over the topness that these two characters play, and while I enjoy the serious moments, I think the serious moments are needed in a film like this. There are story elements that I don't think would happen in this situation. But you can't rewrite the movie, right? So what is here is kind of carried by the performances, particularly of Regina Hall. Regina Hall is carrying this movie on her back, and Sterling K. Brown is stealing every scene he possibly can steal. And the two of them,
that's a good description, by the way. That's a good description.
Yeah, the two of them work very well together. I would say to check it out, particularly if you did grow up in the church, or if you still go to church. If you're like me, and you probably are, you believe in God, but you're not like practicing like, oh, I gotta go every Sunday and all that. But like, you go to get a message every once in a while. I think you would enjoy this movie, particularly the sillier moments of it.
Okay, Tiara.
I enjoyed it. I think I wanted it to be a little bit better. I think it's partly because like the ending was something I didn't really like or agree with the choice that they went with. I agree with Micah. Like Regina Hall is like the star of this, which is interesting. Micah, that you put it like she's carrying it on her back, but he is stealing but Sterling K. Brown is stealing moments, because those are their characters like to a T.
Yep.
I thought this was so funny because the character that Sterling K. Brown plays is so all about saving souls. But when I watched it the second time, I was like, we don't see him, quote unquote, save a soul not once. Like, I don't see him like praying over anyone, but I do see them talking about that Prada, and then him getting mad over his Fianos or whatever the fuck they're called. And I think it puts a mirror on how egotistical megachurch pastors, or probably a lot of pastors, really are, because this is their grift. Like, hey, I am blessed with all of these flashy things, even though I say that I want the people to really see us. Well, they see you, and they saw you honestly when you had that mind mask, and that's kind of a characterization of who you are. Basically, I don't know, maybe like a clown for Jesus or whatever, because they get to the point where it's almost like they're making a mockery of themselves in the church and what it's supposed to stand for. I do like that we got to see Nicole Bahari, and I don't know the other guy's name, but kind of be who their characters used to be. Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown's characters probably used to be in the very beginning. And to me, it felt like those two characters were almost like a cautionary tale. Like, don't become like, what were their names? I can't remember their names.
The Childs.
Yeah.
No, I mean Sterling K. Brown's character and Regina Hall's character.
Yeah, they are the Childs.
Okay.
Trinity and Lee Curtis.
Yeah. So like, don't become like Trinity and Lee Curtis. So I thought that was interesting. Also, I like the fact that they didn't necessarily have to explicitly say what the allegations were, because the fact that who he was having sexual misconduct with was probably bad enough. Because if it were, let's say, with women, would this even be a scandal? And to me, the answer is probably no.
The irony of that, I will point out in a second.
And also, I was wondering, like, did they need to tell us in detail what exactly he did? And like I said, I don't think that was probably necessary. And then I thought it was interesting that you still had some folks who stuck around, which was very interesting. But I think I would have liked to see the ending kind of be a little less ambiguous, because you don't really get to see if people actually came back to their service or not. And I think no matter what you showed, it would have said a pretty big statement about the church. Like, you're either not coming back because of who he was involved with, or you don't give a fuck and you're there anyway, considering the allegations are made against him and how they had to settle. So, also, I'm not religious. After maybe I was like 9 or 10, my mom told me I did not have to go to church.
Wow.
Because she didn't like church. But
Damn.
also I had to go to...
she was out.
I mean, to me, like, this was... And even I had to go to, like, Catholic school later on, but, like, it's all been no offense to people who are religious, because I don't want to disrespect people who are, but to me, myself personally, I feel as though it feels like a scam. Because I honestly don't believe that people who are preaching to the Lord need to be in flashy suits like this and having jets and then getting robbed in your Brooklyn church of $2,000 worth of jewelry. Like, I think it says a lot.
By the way, that was bullshit. Oh,
what?
Okay.
That was a scam.
Oh, okay.
It was an insurance scam. So
Yeah.
it's
No
even
way.
worse. It was even worse.
Oh my god. Okay. Can you
locked
tell
up?
that story later? Because I want to hear more about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it says something that you think that you work hard for all of the flashy stuff, but the folks who are in your congregation are just, they're just there to support your blessings, I guess. So that's how I felt about the movie. It was enjoyable. I think most people should watch it, and I think the people who should watch it won't watch this.
Yeah,
They'll probably actually just get upset.
that is correct.
So,
All right, Terrence, your thoughts?
Me being a heathen, I rather enjoyed it. I like it a lot. It just basically shows the hypocrisy of the church, especially for-profit churches, which seem to be most of them. But no, the performances were great. This was, like Micah said, what's her name? Regina Hall was carrying the movie, much like she carries the relationship. And he steals the thunder. That's pretty much it. And I feel like this is pretty much the relationship that a lot of mega churches have. Like the first lady of the church is probably not to say the brains behind everything, but like she's keeping everything together because like niggas are stupid, right? Like men can be pretty dumb, but like they're really good at talking. They talk a lot. They're like, you know who else is really good at speaking? Pimps.
Yeah,
they're excellent at speaking.
Yeah. Know? It's kind of their thing.
They're great at it. That's their thing. They can get people to do what they want to do. So there you go. I loved it. It's a great.
You know
movie.
what? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it. Okay, so I agree with the larger sentiments that everybody's stated. So I'll go a little bit further. Look, I think the performances were excellent. I mean, again, Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown were great. But both of them are great in everything, so that's not a surprise. But it's kind of cool. I like this new new era of Regina Hall of taking on some more in-depth serious roles as of late, which is very cool. I mean, I didn't like The Master, that horror movie she did, but I like that she's taking on like kind of just different genres and stuff like that. I appreciate that about her. Look. The thing that I think makes Regina Hall's character performance so good is it's done almost with gritted teeth the entire time, right? Because she knows the deal. She has the secret that we're all kind of figuring out, and if you're paying attention, it doesn't take long to figure it out. But her entire worldview is still with this like, but I know what you did in the back of her head, right? Type of shit.
Yeah, that's tambourine, isn't it?
Say again.
You know how throughout the movie, like that tambourine, every time somebody says some wild shit to her, the tambourine plays in the background.
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah.
I don't like that.
And I like her moments where she breaks, right? Like especially at the end. But there's a couple moments that she's just like, shut the fuck up. Like because she's a real person, right? No matter what, like the performance she has to put on, quite literally the performance she has to put on for the church and for her husband. I mean, some people have obviously made comparisons between this story and Eddie Long's story. If you know who Eddie Long was, he's a megachurch pastor. He's dead now. Said to have died of some sort of aggressive cancer, I think 2017. And like, you know, Terrence, you mentioned the whole point of like the first lady sort of being in, behind the scenes, keeping it together, this sort of thing. And, sort of like, this is how it's run. But if you like read up, cause I've been doing some reading up on Eddie Long, and like his whole thing was his teachings emphasized, quote, the chain of command between certain superiors and subordinates characterized by respect, submission, and obedience. Guy is, submits to God and is respectful to God. And then the woman submits to her father or her husband, depending on where she is in life, right? Same thing. So it makes sense, right? He was also a prosperity gospel preacher. So like, I do want to say a lot of my issues with the characters in this movie, as far as like their actions, are about prosperity preaching, right? Like, oh, I got a helicopter, I got all these suits and shit like that. Like, and I'm not just saying it because I'm going to be harsh about that stuff. And I'm sure Terrence probably will be too. Like, actually, I think all four of us will, because it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not coming from a place of ignorance. I went to a mega church until I was 19. Like, that's definitely, like, the first nigga I've ever seen who had a Lotus was my pastor. I was like, I didn't even know what that was because I was a broke kid from Baltimore. I'm like, what the fuck is a Lotus? Yeah, okay. So, like, he had a high-end car. This is like 1989, right? So like I've come from that background. I've seen that, and I've seen like that progression up. And then Tiara, you mentioned like if this was, spoiler alert, the the improprieties that the pastor does are with young men. You mentioned the whole thing of like, if it was with women, this wouldn't even be a problem. Well, interestingly enough, Eddie Long got in trouble for messing around with young men. It's the exact same situation as this. And the person, do you guys know who the pastor is at his church now that he's passed away?
Is it Jamal Bryant?
It is, in fact.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah. Jamal Bryant is the pastor of the church now.
Oh, interesting.
He moved down there. And like,
He moved down there.
Yeah, he was like, oh, shit, they pay him.
He was like, these niggas in Baltimore are broke.
Yeah.
Let me go down to a real church.
Right. Yo, that church has I looked it up. That church has 25,000 members and 12,000 weekly attendees.
Wow.
Yo, that's an insane amount of people. So,
look, I said this last week in the preview episode. If
you did.
I had no morals.
Don't try to forget it. Yeah, you did.
I would totally become a prosperity preacher. I would. Like, I mean, look,
absolutely.
Like, you have to be an atheist, right? Because there's no way that you believe in God doing all
No, they believe. Like, that's
really?
actually, here's the thing. No, they believe. Like, here's the thing. Look, you can cherry pick anything in the Bible to support your fucking views, right? Like, easily. Like, quite easily. Like, but I'm glad you actually brought that up, because that's going to be my last sort of like general review point. I actually like that it's not told. I don't know the director Adamma Ebo's perspective on religion. I tried to find it. I don't actually have anything on that, but I like that it wasn't told from like my perspective of like, religion is, I think it's all fake and blah, blah. I don't want that. Like, I think that would have actually cheapened the movie. Like, I like that it's told from a perspective of like, these people actually believe it. They're just grifters. Like, they just can't help themselves. They're like, I need a helicopter. Like, I want it told that these people aren't like just bullshitting their constituents. I want them to truly believe that, while also scamming their constituents, because Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, what's
Joel Osteen.
What's the fat dark-skinned black dude? TD Jakes. All these guys. All of them have in there are tons more. Pastor Thomas at New Psalmist Baptist Church in Baltimore that I went to until I was 19. Yeah. All of these guys, Jamal Bryant, all of these guys just love collecting money. And women, weirdly. So, like, they all do it. But I think they all truly believe in religion and God. But I think that it's just a means of like, yeah, and I'm also going to get fucking paid. But I'll mention my thoughts on why that is later on.
A couple more things.
Kenneth Copeland is worth $300 million.
300 million. You know what? We're doing the wrong thing. Let me change the background real quick. We about to have church here. Jesus Christ. What?
Joel Osteen is worth $100 million.
Oh, he broke.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he a broke
that's
boy.
the one that didn't let people in during the hurricane, right?
Hell no. I'm not trying to mess up my carpets. Get the fuck out of here.
He closed God's house.
No, that's Joel Osteen's house. That's not God's house. Knock it off. He paid for that.
A couple of things, like, I thought the theme of forgiveness, especially towards the end, was interesting, considering that the characters took no real accountability for their actions, or any like real responsibility in acknowledging some of the pain that they caused. And that also includes Regina King's character too. I mean, she's
Regina Hall.
I think she's Regina Hall. My bad.
Racist.
Trinity's all of us look alike. Trinity is played to be sympathetic, but she isn't to me. Like, she's part of the problem. Like,
she's 100% part of the problem.
And then also, like, I wondered this, and I didn't look it up, but I wonder if they use the same set as Greenleaf, because in the first scene, I was like, I know those pews. Those look like the same exact ones.
Yo, it looks like the church I grew up in, yo. Like, it looks exactly like this. It's the same. It looks exactly.
And then I was like, hashtag all churches look alike to me. So,
yeah, it's probably one architect. Like, they were like, this is the grifting special 2000. Would you like that? Like, absolutely. This is the one I want.
This
How
is
many
like
motherfuckers can fit in
almost a funny version of Greenleaf. And if you haven't watched Greenleaf, you should.
Whose church is this, by the way? Like, what pastor was like, right? Like, it's a real church. Like, some pastor was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Get that money. Like, that's wild to me. Like, it's wild. But whatever.
Hey, look, the Lord's blessings come in mysterious ways. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, with a helicopter and a bunch of Prada suits. I mean, all those suits were fucking fire, though. I'm not gonna lie. They all look good.
Fucking $65 million plane.
That's insane.
Fucking Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar had a fundraiser for that shit. Like, because he wanted a plane. A preaching mobile.
Yo, that's
to put that shit on the website, yo.
And they paid for it. They paid for it, yo. Come on, yo. Come on, yo.
I think.
Do y'all have family members who
person,
give money to church? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Micah.
Like, do I have family members who give money? Yeah, but like $5.
Yeah, they not balling out.
Oh, okay.
I think the most I've seen my father give, and my father, he ain't a cheap man, right? He will throw some money around, right? I think the most I've ever seen him give is maybe $50 in a collection plate. And that's it.
That's still too much.
That's way too much.
That's a lot, yo. That's a lot.
Oh, he must have been feeling the word that day, boy. Like, God damn, $50.
And he ain't do it every week. He ain't do it every week either.
Was it? Hold on. Now, hold on a second. Was it a $50 bill?
Yeah, it was $50.
Oh, this nigga wildin'. Nah, yo. Nah, yo. Because I feel like if it's like a 220s and a 10, like in your brain, you'd be like, that's not so much. It's a $50 bill. Nah, yo. Yeah. My brain would not allow that. No.
I put in the money that sings or jingles or whatever the fuck, like, but not the money that stays silent in the collection plate.
Yo, that was my breaking point, by the way, when I was 19. Like, the pastor had like a guest pastor there, and he was like, you know, make sure you put money that don't jingle, but that folds. And I was like, in my brain was like, nigga, what? And I stood up, I walked out, I walked right out of there, I got in my beat up ass car, and I drove home, and I never went back. I was like, nah, yo, that's insulting. You know, my brain would not allow it. No. You're not going to tell me how much money I got to give you. You ain't doing nothing. Shut up. Like, no. I don't get it, but that's me. Not for money.
So I'm not going to speak for all believers, but I will say that the ones that I know do not believe in prosperity theology. Right?
You don't, but you don't go to a prosperity church.
No, I don't go. No, I would never go to a prosperity church because that shit is obnoxious. Right? Like, I don't need, like, I respect, like, getting in your Sunday best, right? Because I think people look good when they look good, right? But we don't do that here. We don't give. We don't do 10% of our income. You know? Like,
nigga, get the fuck out of here!
Like, that's like once you put a once you put a number on it, and I understand, right? Like, that's in the Bible, right? Like, but like,
is that was 10%
of like, yeah, but that was like 10% of like, that was like 10% of like crops, right? Like,
a local bread.
You got 10 loaves of bread. How about you give one to the church so that the church can help pass that around? You know what I mean? Right. That's not like money. That's not currency, right?
Nah, like, I need to get 10% of what? Of what? Of my time? Maybe. No, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Now, but you're saying like you don't mind people doing their Sunday best, but like you're a bit of a hypocrite, right? You go to like a bullshit church where y'all can wear jeans and shit.
No, we don't go there anymore. I go to
I
go to Kingdom Fellowship AME.
All right. This is a real church. Yeah, when the last time you went that wasn't online, nigga?
Look, I got 2 kids, man.
All right, here we go.
It's a pandemic, yo. Before the pandemic was the last time I stepped foot in the church.
Oh, damn.
Before the pandemic.
3 years ago?
Yeah, I ain't trying to get sick.
I mean, you're in the house of the Lord. You're not going to get sick.
God don't work like that.
Like,
God don't work like that.
In my head,
the blood of
God
Jesus
don't work
protect
like
you?
that.
Right?
No, God don't work like that.
Nah,
unfortunately, in my head canon, God works like how Al Pacino was trying to school Keanu Reeves. That's how God works in my head canon.
But
He's
that
an
was
like
absentee landlord, right? Like he don't give out wishes, yo. He don't give out wishes, right? Like God don't work like that, man.
oh shit.
So yeah. Anyway, let's start talking about this movie.
Yeah, we're gonna give your ass the business today. Go ahead.
Look, God got me.
I hope so. Hope you paid your 10%. You're fucked.
As soon as I heard 10%, I was like, 10% of what? What's in my wallet? He's like, nah, what you make, what you bring home every week. Like, yo, are you serious?
No, it should be it's 10% before taxes, Micah, not after. Don't try to be slick.
Nah, get out of here. Get out of here.
Gross, nigga. Gross.
All I'm
Pastor
saying
Lee
is, if
Charles.
I had a church, I would do the same thing.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Give me my money. 15%.
Pastor Lee Charles and his wife, First Lady Trinity. That's how they spell Trinity?
Mm-hmm. She black.
Yeah. I thought they spelled it like Naomi spelled it, like the word. But
Nah.
I guess they ran a Southern Baptist megachurch called Wandering to Greater Paths, which is just a silly ass name for a church.
It is.
For me. And it had a large following and raked in a substantial amount of money. But there was a recent scandal involving Lee Curtis Childs, and it forced them to close the church. Now, look, the beginning of this movie sets up the framing device of it's a documentary. Documentary is the framing device for the movie. So think The Office, right?
Yep.
Where people are giving testimonials to the camera, and the documentarian, she is, like, I'm not, just pretend I'm not here. Just, when you give your testimonial, just look in the camera. So we established that as the framing device, and we meet Trinity. And we see like a montage of like how bawling the child's family and their church is. Sterling K. Brown is like this character is based off of the actions are based off of Eddie Long, but the look and mannerisms are based off of Creflo Dollar.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he's he's literally doing, I think he's wearing a suit that Creflo Dollar wore in the beginning of this movie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But we find out that there's this big scandal, and we're drip fed what the scandal kind of is. It's basically him like doing sexual advances on young men, and not even that is young men, it's young men that he's kind of groomed. And that's an issue. The power that we as parishioners give preachers, I think that's a bit of a problem. These are men. And when Jamal Bryant was caught being with his infidelities, even people in my family were like, well, I mean, he's just a man, and is it like, nah, yo, like you can't have it both ways, right? Like if you want to be a pillar of the community and be pious, quite literally, you have to act like it. You have to be better. Same thing with cops, yo. Like if you want to uphold the law, you got to follow that shit to a T, right? You can't do any crooked shit.
I mean, so like it is a weird ask, right? Like that idea of they not even that they just want that person to be pious, but that these particular people will judge people for not being pious. These reverends or pastors or whatever will do things like cheat on their wives, get other women pregnant, Jamal Bryant, get, sleep with, men on the side while also preaching anti-gay gospel and all this other stuff. And they are so quick to forgive, but they are so quick to condemn people outside of the church. Like I just find that curious. And like that's one of those things where I feel like the church loses a lot of people that maybe they could pull in because of that sort of attitude, like that sort of like very obvious hypocrisy.
You would think so, but people, especially us, I mean, I can't speak for white people, but especially us, we forgive. We want to forgive because society beats black people into the mud. And we feel like, all we got is our own.
Yeah. And
some people take advantage of that. I'm not saying all preachers do. Quite frankly, I don't think all preachers do. I think there's an ungodly amount that do, but some people take advantage, man, and it's not. I don't like the hypocrisy, and that's one of the things that I wish the movie called out a little more. Is that when Eddie Long got caught, grooming young men and having an affair with boys and shit. People didn't leave.
No, they did not.
People didn't leave, Like, and
again, that church still has 12,000 weekly members. Like, it still does.
If there's one thing that black people black people for some reason hate gay people, So that's the first thing that dumb niggas will do to try and insult you, is to insult your masculinity and call you like all kinds of homophobic slurs and shit. Right. So I'm amazed that nobody left. And that's power, And that's power that one man shouldn't have. I don't agree with that shit.
Look, I'll say it. Let's just get it all out on the table now because we're early into the episode. That's cult-like mentality. That's what that is.
Yeah,
it is. It is. Like, look, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody's religion, but if you feel that this is like a thing, like quite literally, again, I read up on Eddie Long. He quite literally did a march with Dr. King's daughter, who's like kind of conservative in a lot of ways. He did a march to King's grave, King Jr.'s grave, to protest marriage equality. Like, that's how hardcore he was. Like, considered one of the most virulent fucking anti-LGBT black pastors in the country at the time. That dude gets caught having sex with young men, and people are just like, I don't really believe it. Just let him slide. Like, that's what the fuck kind of crazy? Surely you should be like, I don't trust it. There's other virulent homophobes that I could go to, but like, that's a cult-like mentality. And it's not even a cult. It's not just a cult-like mentality for religion, because it shouldn't disrupt your religion necessarily. That's the fault of a man, right? So I get that. But that's a cult-like mentality for that pastor. Like, I remember, even when I went to church, thinking, it's very weird. And like I remember being at church and like, I liked my pastor. I thought he was like really good or whatever for, whatever nonsense. But like, I remember being like kind of disappointed when like he wasn't there or something like that. And my mom, who was a religious person, was like, you're not supposed to give a shit about the pastor. You're supposed to care about like the message, right? Like, you're supposed to care about the religion. So like, don't get fixated with this one man. And like, to her credit, she's absolutely right. But like, those people are so cult-like connected to him that they wouldn't even leave to go to a different church, which is fucking weird. But you're right. Like, that would have actually sent a bigger message if they had stayed.
Yeah, I think if I was rewriting the movie, I would have. There would be more than just the devout five, and
like half.
And I think that the movie kind of tries to touch on it, right? Like through like radio call-ins on a show, right? Like they're like, "Oh, well, why don't you just leave him alone, man? Like he's sorry, whatever, right?" Like I see you tried to address it, right? I see you tried to address it, but I think a more interesting story could have been told instead of this pseudo redemption arc that that the Childs are having, and I think you could have, because Trinity is our main character. I feel like you could. I feel like Trinity could be the one to have her come to Jesus moment with accepting the fact. Like it would be an interesting push pull to see how Trinity, who is a believer, has to decide what does she believe in more, her faith or her lifestyle, right? Like,
Right.
not only is this, I'm not going to say Trinity, her character should be homophobic, but her character should be upset that her marriage was broken by her husband. And that is something that
You don't think she is?
I think she is, but not enough to, but she puts up with it. And I was going to talk about that later. Like, I think she is, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like a story about like, and I guess that's what this movie's doing. You know, she likes this lifestyle, but she's got to kind of put up with the bullshit. I guess that's what the movie's doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wish the movie called out like us more. Well, us pointing at me. And how we forgive
Not us. We're good.
people who do how we forgive people who do like fucked up things. Anyway, this movie also does something that is cute. It the aspect ratio changes from time to time. So when you are in the documentary framing device, the aspect ratio is one thing, and then when you are in the real world, right, away from the cameras, the aspect ratio changes to a more letterboxed format. Just a nice bit of visual storytelling that I think is good. So after the scandal, we see the Childs. They're sitting at breakfast, and you know, fucking Lee Childs is like, "Yeah, this is our redemption, baby. I'm like Rocky. Pop, 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 pop." And then Trinity is like, Rocky lost. And he was like, "What? Huh?" And but he lost to Apollo Creed. And well, you'd be surprised how many people don't know that.
Yeah, they really don't.
No, Rocky 2, man. That's when Rocky won.
He was like, "Nah, get past that. That was all set up."
Right.
That shit was good. I like their chemistry a lot, by the way, in this movie. I really, really do. I think it's great.
Yeah. So more documentary stuff. We see them going into the church, and they're getting ready to, you know, open the doors, and we see the closet, right? This huge closet with all these like clothes. It's like walking into a K&G. Like it looks.
Nah, those would be all Steve Harvey suits. Like, let's knock it off.
Like I look. I like walking into a K&G, right? Like I'm not gonna wear a red suit, but like seeing one is like, wow, like like these exist.
Like, is this nigga the devil? Like, what are you wearing? Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Every suit in there, every Prada suit in there, look good. The shoes are a little ridiculous. They're not necessarily.
I mean, the shoes. I mean, like niggas get crazy with the shoes, right? Like they be slip-ons that look like an ink blot test, but
yeah, I'm not wearing that.
But every suit looked fucking amazing.
It did.
You ever wear a bright suit? Like the brightest suit I ever wore was was a seersucker off-white suit separate and with a red shirt.
Nigga, where were you going?
To work. To work. I just felt like dressing up for work.
Yeah, you must have looked wild, yo. You still look super wild.
I look like Brother Love. And this
From WWF.
yeah.
Oh,
and I was just going to work, and it was when I worked in Baltimore of all places, and it was my job was on the block, so I looked like a pimp, and it was, but I like that seersucker suit, right?
That's
like,
funny.
I got it from J.C. Penney, and I thought I was the shit.
You certainly were something. No, I think the lightest I had a tan suit. Like that's the light.
Yeah, you gotta have a tan suit.
That's the brightest. I've never had like this nigga has a yellow suit. Like, yo, no. Like you look like the guy who took care of fucking Curious George. I'm not wearing that. But yeah, no, that's I think that's the brightest I've ever gone. But I'm not against it. Like look, you know, Sterling K. Brown's all his suits in this movie look great. Like they all look good.
Yeah,
that yellow hat is ridiculous, but I'm not even mad at it. Not mad at it. But this was really to show off like just how much like they don't recognize how insane they sound, right? Like, oh, you got to have the periwinkle Prada and all this other shit. And he's like, they're just going through and showing all of these, what I assume are like multi-thousands of dollars suits, like individual suits. And they see nothing wrong with it.
At one point, they direct the documentary crew to the like opening area to show off the indoor fountain that they have in the church. It's a fountain in the church. What the fuck?
Of course. 3, 2, 1.
So we cut the documentary cuts to a pastoral couple, Keon and Shakura Sumter.
They were ridiculous.
And they're planning to open their own church, Heaven's Home. And they're planning to open it the same day as the child's grand opening.
By the way, a Prada suit is about $4,000. Little known fact about me personally. A lot of people listening or watching may not know this. I will never own a Prada suit. Not ever. Not a real one. Not unless they got a knockoff at K&G. Like, no. $4,000. Jesus Christ.
You got to own a Prada suit with 2 D's in it.
What is it? You had the fucking like the Tommy Hilfiger jeans back in the day. They had like the name down the leg or some shit like that. The flea market. Yeah, that's the closest you come into a Prada suit. Jesus Christ.
So the Sumters are planning to open their own church, and they cite the Childs as an inspiration. But they already have one. They're opening like a bigger location, right? And they cite the Childs as an inspiration, but like at the same time, like it's kind of like how we were inspired to start doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Much like much like the Sumters, we still around. So
damn.
Ouch.
I guess somebody took all your strength. Anyway, go ahead. See, Michael got that one. See, that's me being a dick. Terrible podcast.
They cite the Childs as their inspiration, but they've also kind of gathered all their congregates to attend the sermons, obviously, right? Because the Childs closed their church for a year. And now, again, that's something that would never happen. Because
hell no.
A while. You still have the upkeep. You still need upkeep for the church.
Hey, you need money.
Money would they make you? Right.
Right. Like it's a business, yo. Like you get caught cheating on your wife, you're not gonna quit your job, right? Like it's still
groceries got to get
business.
bought.
Right. So the documentary then turns to the child's devout five. They are congregates that believe that Lee Curtis is not guilty of any of the allegations and are more than happy to abide by his words, attending their Wednesday sermon despite a mishap during the baptism. Now, look, this was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Oh, this part has my favorite line in the movie.
I know exactly what it is too.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know exactly what it is.
And you know what? I 100% agree with that little girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I do, yo. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing, yo? Like, what are we doing?
I like theater.
I love the theater.
We see the devout five, and this was some of the funnier stuff, right? Like the older couple are talking about how, like, oh well, in my previous church, the music director, he did all this what's it called? And the husband is just like orgies. and they kept him, right? And this one woman is trying to have her child baptized, and this little girl is fucking amazing in this role. And there's a bit of what happened when she was doing the baptism, or was Lee Charles getting the baptism?
No. There's a moment where he's like preaching to them, and he's talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, I want my gospel. I want all my like everything I deserve." And then like he has kind of this one-on-one in front of the whole church with her, and then he knocks her out with.
She catches the Holy Spirit, essentially.
Sure.
Yeah, yo. Like this shit was amazing
bullshit.
To me, yo. It's amazing to me. And then when she
have you ever caught it? You ever caught it? You ever caught it, Micah?
I mean, it's very rarely thrown in my direction, so I really can't.
Like I remember as a kid thinking, that is weird that I've never gotten the Holy Spirit, and then I remember thinking, I think these people are full of shit. Like they run around the church every week, they get it every week, they got their own special dance and shit. Like that seems
look, I get getting hype. Right, like I get hype off of the stupidest stuff, yo. I get hype off of a really good fighting game match, right? I'll get hype off of dumb shit, right? But what I'm not doing is I'm not fainting. I'm not running up and down aisles like some lunatic. I'm not, speaking in tongues or whatever.
Yo, if you ever do that. If you ever do that, like if you're a listener and you do that, you're full of shit. Like your whole life is full of shit. Like that's not real. It's just gibberish. You're just saying gibberish. I'm sorry. Sorry. Not sorry.
Like that's the one thing. That's the one thing that I just don't get that. Like I get dancing, right? Like I get dancing.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. No problem.
I even kind of get like running around, right? Because like adults just want to be kids, right? If you get an excuse to run around inside, you're going to take it. Yeah. Right? What I don't get is like convulsing and like I don't get that. I don't get that. And I think you're just making it about you. And,
you don't want someone to put their hand on your forehead and then bless you, but like push you.
Oh, fucking
touch me, yo! I don't want to be touched, yo. I don't like touching people. The pandemic has been amazing because I don't even have to shake your hand if I meet you.
It's so funny, like now, like here, just hearing this, like so. I don't know. She'll probably listen to this months from now, but me and my cousins would like do exactly that, like pretend to like bless each other and then just do all that nonsense.
Did you really? That's awesome. I love that while
it was so funny to us.
I love that while you were in church, you were just like, let's bullshit people. This is fun.
Well, so I would fall asleep in church, and I would get in trouble for falling asleep.
All the time. I fell asleep in
I
jury
think
duty.
I think everybody
Yes.
did that, right?
Kid,
Like, if I gotta be,
kid,
I gotta be,
kid,
I
nigga,
gotta be awake.
adult.
You gotta be awake. That's why church is like. Here's the rundown of the modern church, right? You get there, there's like, let's say you get there on time, right? Like you don't get there early or whatever. You get there early, like people, it's like before a party starts, right? People are mingling and shit, and then you
Is the
sit
ATM
down.
machine in the church?
No, we don't have an ATM machine at my
We
church.
did. We did. We did. We did. We did.
How much were the fees?
But here's the thing:
If the fast cash is
thing,
$100, or you need to leave.
here's the thing with the modern church, though. Here's the thing with the modern church: you don't need an ATM.
Yeah,
You just
they
need
got
a
the
cell
square.
phone. You just need a cell phone. You just need a
Cash
cell
App.
phone.
They take
Venmo.
Venmo.
They take everything.
Oh yeah, they take all that shit. They make it incredibly easy for you to tithe.
Yo, you can do that shit from home. They're like, oh, there's
you
no
watching the
excuse.
stream. You watching the stream? Click that.
Yo,
Click
they're
that
like
button
watching
right
a
there.
fucking Twitch stream.
Okay, so that does bring up a really a point I wanted to make. I have become of having two minds of this, and I think ultimately my original idea was pretty bad because it has gone in a terrible direction. I always thought that, okay, fine, like I don't have a problem with people being religious like that. Like there are some atheists who are like religion should be banned or whatever. Look, you do what you want to do. I don't really give a fuck about that. Just don't use your religion as like as a weapon, right, against people. That's my only thing. When you do that, then I push back pretty hard about it. But largely, I'm like, that's something that doesn't vibe with me. It's fine. But I always thought, like, especially when it came, like, especially in the time where like LGBT rights were becoming like the big issue for the church, I was like, why would the church not modernize and be like, hey man, everybody's welcome, so you could just keep more people in, right? Because they lost so many people. And I'm talking about the church in general, right? I'm not talking about any specific religion or like any specific sect of Christian religion. But I always thought like they should modernize, and some did. I think it's like, is it like
a lot of
the Presbyterians, right? Yeah, they have like women pastors and or priests or whatever it is. I don't know.
There's one Presbyterian church that I drive past on New Hampshire Avenue, and they have a various like cloth or plastic signs up like Black Lives Matter or all are welcome here with a rainbow.
Right.
And it's funny at like the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, every day that sign would be torn. Like there would be like slash marks in the gigantic sign, and
Jesus.
every day they would have to replace it, or every like week or whatever they would replace it.
Is that a church?
Yeah,
that feels like
is that a church on like an arterial roadway? So
right, like it's public.
You gotta make it a point to get off of that arterial roadway, go park, walk over the field that this sign is in, and just to slash it, and then go all the way back. Like it's not something that you can just like drive past and like throw something at. You know what I mean? Like you got to make a concerted effort to be an asshole.
Yeah, well, bigots. That bigot, it turns out not to be lazy.
Yeah.
But like I always thought like the church should modernize, right? Like that would be a thing that they could keep their constituents. It would be good for everyone. But what has seemed to happen is modernization in the mega churches specifically. I'm not talking about like the Presbyterian church and stuff like that. They have modernized, right? And they're like, yeah, gay rights, whatever, everybody's welcome. And a lot of people have converted towards them. But modernization in like the mega churches has come with here's Venmo, here's fucking Zelle, and all these access to more money, and gospel prosperity preaching has become more extreme. We need jets. We need it doesn't seem to be modernizing in the ways of mindset, except for to accumulate more money and power. Like it's very weird. So yeah, don't modernize. Like, none of this is good. It's all been bad, and it's actually made things somehow worse. Like, it's very strange to me. Stay off Twitter, stay off Facebook. Just live in your dark ages where you just yelled at people on the street. It's fine. Like, I'd rather they didn't modernize.
So, okay, we're at the baptism. I have to talk about this.
This nigga
and
took his shirt off.
I'd be very, I mean, look, I ain't mad at him. Like, that dude is like 46, 47 years old, looking like that. Man, shit.
I'd have wrote it into my contract. Every show, every movie I'm in, you look at these ads. Right. Look at this shit.
I gotta walk around in fucking bicycle shorts and socks, and that's it.
The mom is hilarious. She was just like, and then covers her daughter's eyes. That shit was funny.
So he's getting baptized again, right? He's getting born again, which, you know, I've never been baptized. My mother's never been baptized. And I don't think
was baptized.
Hell.
You were baptized?
How are you not baptized? Nigga?
Yes, of course I was baptized.
I used to go to church my
almost every. Baptized too. You've never been baptized?
My parents believe. No, my parents believe. My parents believe that is something that you have to come to. Like, that shouldn't be something that's.
And you never did it.
No, never did it. Never did it.
Yo,
I'll do what everyone else. Okay. I'll do what everyone else does. I'll do what Miss Tony did before she was before she died. Before he died, and go throughout life known as Miss Tony. Find out that I got a terminal disease, and then baptize myself just to be Tony right before I die. That's what I'll do.
Yo, Terrence's deadpan response. And you didn't do it? That was perfect.
Yeah, well,
nah,
so we're three of us are baptized, but you're not.
Closer to God. Closer to God.
Are you baptized? Are you baptized, or were you christened as a baby?
No, I was baptized, my nigga. I was like 11.
I used to go to church every weekend until I was 13. And I used to be like those long ass sessions where you would be there from like 6 to 6. Wanting to put a bullet in my fucking head.
The modern church, if you get there on time, it's 20 minutes of praise and worship, 45 minutes of message, and about 15 minutes of benediction and closing, and you're out. You're out in like 90 minutes.
Yeah, you know why? Because they got 3 services and they need more people with more money.
Yep.
I mean, look, sorry. Was a 7:30, 9:30, and 11:30 service. I remember that shit. And I was never there at 7:30. Get the fuck out of here. That's way too early.
Nah, I would rather do it 7:30 and get it over with.
Nah, 9:30, dog. Because look, 9:30 is good because it's real finite. It can't run over. So if you go to 9:30, you can guarantee you're out on time. 11:30, you be there all day. Fuck out of here with that.
No, who the fuck is going to an 11:30 service?
A bunch of
to a late service.
Niggas dancing at the club the night before. Those are the people that are there at 11:30. Knock it off.
Have to repent.
So this baptism thing. This baptism is hilarious, right? He's getting baptized again, and because he's born again, right? And he's doing they're both saying the prayer. And they end the prayer. One says amen, the other says amen. And that, I found out, is something that me and my wife disagree on. I say
really?
Amen. I say amen. Right, because you're normal.
Because that's the correct way to do it.
Wait, you're saying the correct way is amen or amen?
Amen.
Yes, I agree with you. We've all watched the show. We've never watched a show called Amen. What the fuck? Well, yeah, Sherman Hemsley wasn't on a show called Amen. He was on a show called Amen.
Right. Like, thank you. Like, who the fuck says amen? What the fuck?
I've never even heard.
Like, nah, Tiara says it. That's why she quiet over there.
Is your mic off?
You're muted.
Your mic is off.
There's no sound.
My bad.
What?
Yeah. I'm muted. No, I say amen.
Nah, she's lying.
I've heard amen.
Nah.
Yeah, she's lying now.
She's lying. She trying to be in the crowd. Nah, knock it off.
No.
There's always one.
That's saying amen is like what like if you're like at like a Catholic church, right? And like those druids.
Yeah, they come out with like the fucking Undertaker Druids come out and start singing that shit.
I mean, have you been to a Catholic funeral? Like, it kind of is like that. Like,
I've been to a Catholic christening, and yeah, fucking druids came down in red cloaks. They look like grand wizards and shit.
Yeah, they got the frankincense and myrrh and the fucking with the chain with the smoke. I'm like, what year is it? But in fairness, I respect it more. It's like, never change. Like, you guys are just doing what they did before, like when they were banning reading. That's cool. Keep it up. It's fine.
Real quick, we see these two pious ass people. Buck.
I love this scene. I love it.
I love this.
They real niggas because they niggas at the end of the day. They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Regina Hall and Regina Hall had never heard that song before.
What?
What?
She had never heard that song.
It's like 20 years old.
She had never heard it before. she was on. Wow. She did some interview and she was like, "Yeah, I've never." I think she was on the Breakfast Club, and one of them was like, "I heard you never heard of Knock of You." He was like, "I never heard you never heard the one of the greatest like songs of the 2000s or whatever." And she was like, "Yeah, I never heard Knock If You Buck before."
Where is she from?
DC.
I mean, but still, how?
I feel like I'm gonna give her a slight pat. Like, one, she's like, it's probably just not in her purview, just from an age perspective, right?
She's 10 years older than us.
She's right. 50.
That song came out in 2003.
30 when that shit came out.
Yeah,
no.
I'm trying to help her out.
I don't even like that song.
No, you don't know.
I will tell you this: I've never heard that song in its entirety.
I mean, but we believe that though. So, like, this is someone.
All right. Look, if you mute your mic. I've never heard it in its entirety, but I did appreciate the two of them in the scene. I thought
that shit was funny.
Yeah, I just love how it just like it slowly builds. As he's just like it comes on and he's just like quietly doing the lyrics, and then she just fucking comes in out of nowhere. On that part, that's great.
Jay, do you like, or Jay, have y'all heard of trap?
Have I heard trap music before? Yes, I've heard trap.
But gospel music?
Yeah. Right. I have. I don't like it. Look, I don't like any. This is gonna be
Jay's favorite song is "God and Me." By I Love God.
I love God. Yo, that song makes me so mad. That song makes me so mad. I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? All right, enough. Like, I don't like any music. I don't like any religious-based music. Like, that's not gospel. I don't really like gospel music either because I just don't like gospel music. I never have. But like when gospel music or religious music makes it into other genres, I hate that. Like I hate it. Like please stop doing that. Like don't rap about gospel Jesus. Rap? Like I don't like religious rock music. I don't like religious rap music. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
I am again not religious, but I do love gospel music. And every now and then I just like
really.
Yeah, I love it.
That is 100% not in my liked playlist on Spotify. I can guarantee you.
Like, I have advocated for us to do this movie, and I hope we can do it this year. But like, The Preacher's Wife,
we can do it.
That whole soundtrack, every Christmas, like as soon as December starts, holiday start, that with the Georgia Mass Choir.
That's the funny thing is, I also hate Christmas music until Christmas Eve. I don't want to hear it any days before that. I hate it.
God damn, until Christmas Eve?
Yeah, nigga. Lord. My wife wants to play Christmas music on like December 1st. I'm like, not in this house. No, turn it off. Turn it off.
Playing that shit in fucking October.
No,
The
yo,
fuck?
I can't
Yeah,
stand
yo.
that, yo. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
No, you put that shit. Look, I'll give you Christmas Eve. That's as far as I can go. That's it. That's as far as I.
23rd.
What do you
God
think?
damn.
No, I don't want to hear it, yo. No, and I want to hear Black Christmas music. I don't want to hear white Christmas music. Fuck out of here. Like,
You
no,
want to hear Burl Ives?
I don't want to hear. What is it?
Nat King Cole.
Yeah, I want to hear Nat King Cole. I don't want to hear Bing Crosby. I don't want to hear White Christmas. Fuck off. No, Black Christmas. Knock it off. Nope.
You don't want to hear you don't want to hear Mariah Carey like 8 times a day?
Yo, I would throw myself and you out of a fucking window of a 34 building. I hate it. No, thank you.
So I was at I think I sent this to y'all. I was at a thing for my in-laws, or my sister and her family, right? Her husband and his family. And they're like religious people, right? Like they grew up in the church, they go to church, they're religious people. They listen to Christian rap music.
No.
Christian rap music is fucking wild, dude. There's one song called
I would rather
Move.
puncture my own eardrum than to listen to that.
Jesus.
No, I hate religious genre music. I don't like it. It's offensive to me.
Like,
Why?
so I'm gonna read some of these.
Why, Jay?
Go ahead, Micah.
I'm gonna read some of these lyrics, right?
Yeah,
It's
you're
called
about to
Move.
find out right now.
And it's too caught up in numbers or caught up in wondering if I'm a Christian. Light of the world till the king is back. We out here smoking that. We out here smoking that demon pack. You can tell Lucifer to get his shooters and look for a city where Jesus at. What?
It's not acceptable, yo. Now, Tiara, ask your question again. Ask it again.
Why don't you like this music?
No, yo, I don't like it. That should be example 1 through 10. Holy shit.
Have y'all heard David? Y'all know who David and Tamala Mann are?
Oh
No.
my god!
I don't know who those people are.
They are they're gospel singers, and they've been in Tyler Perry movies.
Of course.
They made an album for clean music to make love to.
Oh, sexy R&B gospel music? Nah, yo. Nah, yo. I don't.
Are you talking about Jesus?
Yeah, I'm not listening to that, yo. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to sex. Don't do that to sex.
We're not making Jesus a cuckold, yo. We're not.
Because unless you're married, you can't play that music, right?
Yeah, you can't even. Damn, you can't even play. You can't even like that shit on Spotify unless you're.
It is for married couples, and the album is called "Us Against the World." Some of the songs are called "Ups and Downs." Feels like.
I'm sorry. Feels like what?
Feels. It just says "feels like."
Mm-hmm.
Feels like the Holy Ghost.
Sure.
Oh,
no, yeah. I need. You know what? I need to hear lyrics. I need to read lyrics of this.
Yeah, you should go read some of the lyrics.
While you do that, one quick scene. Speaking of Christian lovemaking, so
yes.
So there's a scene. There's a scene with right.
Like they don't have no kids. Let's not forget that little nugget.
Yeah,
they don't have any children.
They don't. Look, Regina Hall looking all fine. Sterling K. Brown, his character is like they're getting it. They're trying to get it on, and they trying, and Sterling K. Brown just can't do it. Right? He's just like it's just not. It's not working. Right?
The math ain't mathing.
right.
Yo, but hold on. What he says to her when they first like start like going at it. He's like, "Can you feel the spirit deep inside you?" I'm like, "Can we leave God out of this?" Like, come on, man.
Like that. I don't need Christian dirty talk.
Nah, yo, that's gross, yo. That's gross, yo. That's
just weird.
No, this is the time TR puts on her fucking Christian fuck music. Like, nah, yo, like
You got to keep religion out of the bedroom, right?
He's gonna say, "Yeah, I'm about to nail you to somebody's cross."
yeah, like come on, yo, don't do that. Jesus don't want to hear that. Jesus is in heaven. Like, can y'all just not mention me and my dad? Like, shut the fuck up.
As a person who loves puns, especially dirty ones, I am all for religious sex puns.
Nah, yo.
No, this is unacceptable.
I want more of this.
Also, you know, what's unacceptable is like he can't get it up for Regina Hall, but like, baby, can you do me a favor? Can you help me out? Can you help me out? And,
well, Micah, he can't get it. He can't get it up doing it just
missionary,
plain missionary style.
I don't know
but
why.
If she bends over, then
I don't think it's just bending over, guys. I don't think that's all that was the implication there.
I know.
Well, of course,
I know. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, this is okay. Because they made it a point for her to be like, can we just do it the regular way? And
he was like, no, I'm trying to go to Old Town Road. Knock it off.
At first he was trying to. At first, he was trying to prone bone her, right? He was trying to prone bone her, and then she was like, "No, yo, can we do it the regular way?" And then, God forbid, he had to look at this beautiful woman, and it was just like, can't do it. And then it's like, but you gotta help me out here. You gotta help me out here. And
it's us it's me against the world.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. During a shopping spree, Trinity runs into a former congregant who makes subtle, condescending remarks and lets Trinity know that she will be joining Heaven's Home on Easter Sunday along with the other congregates. This was funny to me. This was
to the hat shop. What do y'all think about church hats?
One, it's called Bathsheba's Bonnets, which is hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it more than I hate Christmas music on December 21st. No. Yeah.
Like your church crown.
No, you look ridiculous.
They make you look like a clown.
They do. You look dumb, yo. You look dumb. Don't put that shit on your head. Don't put that shit on your head. Knock it off.
You look silly as shit. But I mean, and they're very expensive too.
I mean, it's usually old ladies that wear it, right?
Nah, this is permeating young women as well, yo. You got to knock this off. Nah, even Sterling K. Brown was like, "You making us look old."
I mean, some of these hats, obviously, right? Like this is a comedy. Some of these hats look fucking ridiculous. I actually like the one she ended up picking out, but some of these, I like the ones. It looks good on her. It looks good on her. I mean, maybe it's because it's her.
Terrence's face when you said that shit was hilarious.
I like the one she picked out. Now look, half of it's probably because it's Regina Hall.
All right, thank you. All right, nigga, be honest. Like, yeah, it's her face. It's her face. Her face is beautiful. That hat,
that $2,300 hat. But some of them hats look like they got like plants and shit growing on. Like,
they look pretty bad.
Like they got flowers and shit all over them.
Nah, it's like a Basquiat painting. No.
You wearing a church? What's the last time you wearing a church hat? You wearing a church hat, TR?
She got a few. She got a few of them.
Do you like any of those hats? Do you like any of those hats you see?
I like, not in this thing. I like the one at the end that she wore.
Yeah, that's the one she bought.
Yeah, the silver one. That's the one that she's wearing right now.
Well, I thought it went nice with her outfit.
There you go. See?
She's very pretty.
Nah. See, it comes back to Regina Hall. It ain't the hat. Nah. I can't look. I can't. No, I don't support Tiara because she says amen. So I can't trust her.
No, I fucking don't. No, we would not be telling lies on this podcast.
When she meets this former congregant, it is this is another part that I think really hit, right? Because that is something that like people do, man. Like this passive aggressive bullshit. This like what was that one movie? There was one movie with Lakeith Stanfield and this other dude.
I hate that fucking dumbass movie.
Yeah,
I know exactly.
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to
bother you. Yeah, he was just like, hey, what's up, man? Oh, I'm just trying to be like you, bro. Like all this fucking passive aggressive compliments. Like that was a little extreme, but this nailed it. Like this.
They
this
absolutely
is an actual fucking interaction, man. And I, like people trying to be better than, but like, nah, yo, you ain't. You still just like grimy, just like all them other heathens. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's just all it is clenched teeth, smiles, and you can feel the well, fuck you then, bitch, like directly underneath all the dialogue, which I can respect.
The first thing she says is "bless your heart." Like everybody knows what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bless your heart. Like, come on, yo. Like, I'm like, well, this conversation's over.
I'm like, no, bless your heart. Prayers up. Like, yeah, that shit is like it does nail that sort of judgmental fake church lady thing is that's very real.
Later, the couple is informed by their lawyer that they have to make settlements to the young men that Lee Curtis has, been kind of fucking around with. Although one of them won't accept the settlement. The next day, Lee Curtis attempts to give Basil, the documentary's sound director, an opportunity to do audiovisual work for the church while also making sexual advances towards him. However, Basil states that he currently has a boyfriend. Yeah, and it's like, yo, you can't.
Like, my nigga, you just you're about to open up in 2 weeks. What's your like?
He can't help himself.
Saved.
And didn't they just settle with most of the accusers at this point?
Yeah,
with the exception
like quite
of
literally the scene before.
Like, and then here he is about to fuck everything up.
So I mean, look, there is. I mean, one, there's just like his like insane sexual appetite, I guess. But the other aspect is just he has a insane ego. I mean, to be like, I can imagine it's very similar to like being a musician or something like that. Like at a church with 5,000, 10, 12,000 people that are like hanging on your every word. That has to do something to you. I mean, even people like Martin Luther King Jr. had a massive ego where he even cheated on his wife, right? Like, because women were throwing themselves at him, like, and he was too weak to not do it. So, yeah, like, even in the face of like his career being ruined and like maybe he might like make it back to his status, he'll fuck it up again. He's trying to put this dude on to his moisturizing game. Like,
like, what are you talking? I'm like, yo, go to.
I mean,
please stop.
I know we'll get there, but like, I mean, he even says at the end, like, we have to open because I have to go back to saving souls. I have to.
Yep.
All right.
Like, it's just all ego,
dude. Yeah, just ego. That's it.
Yeah, very weird.
And the first lady comes in and basically like, niggas like the fuck are you doing, yo? Like, but she can't say it, right?
Yep.
But it's obvious, right? And you can tell she's visibly getting fed up, starting to get fed up.
How do you think to stop for a second? How do you think that works? Trying like they're also like they're fake to the cameras, they're fake to their constituency and everything else, but they're also fake to each other, right? The Nuck If You Buck scene is the only true moment between the two of them. where they're actually being themselves. Every other scene, they are even fake to each other, which is a wild thought.
It makes me think about what y'all were discussing earlier, but like, does she care more, or was she more broken about her marriage, or does she care more about her lifestyle?
Right.
And I think it's clear. Well, at one point, she does get conflicted because she has that conversation with her mom, which I thought was.
Right. I forgot.
That was maddening.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But even then, at the end of the day, even her mom was like, basically like, it's your marriage, but it's really the lifestyle that you're trying to hold on to.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and I think that
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay,
but we can
fine.
Can do it. We can talk about it when we get to it. Because I need to.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I need to see what she said. The Childs visit the Sumters in an attempt to get them to move their date away from Easter. And again, this is some more like passive aggressive bullshit. And
yes.
I don't like passive aggressive. I don't like when people are passive aggressive to me, but I will be passive aggressive to other people because I am a hypocrite.
Do you think the Sumters were being passive aggressive? Because
yes,
because the wife was just like, no. Like when they were like, you got to change. They're like, we would really like you to not use Easter. He's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like this has been in the works for a year. Fuck you. I mean, they eventually did change it, but he was like, no. Let's pray.
If she said fuck you, then I would say, okay, well then they're not being passive aggressive. But the fact that the fuck you didn't come out, no matter how much
she was pretty clear. Like, she was pretty clear. Like, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Obviously, when I think passive aggressive, there's a line there's a line that I think when you're polite about it, I guess. I don't know. I felt maybe it was more Keon Sumter. Because she was.
Yeah, Keon was like, I mean, but she was like, no, fuck off. No, we're not changing.
Let's see. Lee Curtis then plans to reopen the church within the next few days, 2 weeks before Easter, in order to beat the Sumters. Because that's what it's about, right? Like, not about saving souls. Like, we gotta get this money.
We gotta put on a show.
We gotta put on a show. So Lee Curtis has Trinity wave a sign in the street to advertise their return, telling her to shake it for the Lord.
This shit had me correct.
I can't imagine telling my wife to do some shit like that.
I'm gonna need you to shake it. You're not really doing it enough, nigga. If you
don't. So while they were out there, Regina Hall said that those were real honks, right? Like people were actually honking, right? Like those weren't like stunt cars or people from the crew. Like people were actually honking. Now, I don't know if they were honking because of the sign or they were honking because they see Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall. But she was like, oh, well, they were honking. So, that must mean like, nah, like they saw a couple of celebrities in Atlanta and they were honking.
And a bunch of camera crews. Full camera crew. What the fuck? I mean, you can tell it's not fake later on when it's like there's just like a fire truck or an ambulance or whatever drives by in like a kind of a pivotal scene. They were just like, guys, leave it in. Like, who gives a fuck?
Where are we?
Meets a guy picking up trash.
Not quite. There's a woman who accosts Trinity on while they're standing outside. The woman criticizes Trinity and Lee Curtis for all their actions. Basically, like, yo, like Like you all on this like Jesus shit, but like fuck you, yo. Like what you did was fucked up. And I think this is like the final like nail in the coffin. Like this is the thing that really broke Trinity.
Yeah.
Where all the like nice pretense that all the deference that she's giving to her husband, she's just like, nah, yo, like fuck all that. This is when she kind of grows a backbone. This scene is intercut with Lee Curtis rehearsing his Eddie Long speech, basically. Like, I'm just a man. I'm not a perfect man. We're asking you to be perfect. We're asking you to be decent. Like that's it.
We're asking you not to.
That's all I'm looking for.
We're asking you not to fuck underage boys. I don't know. That seems pretty easy.
Yeah,
seems pretty easy.
That
he's like can't stop, won't stop.
Right? Like
were they underage? I thought they made it a point to say that they were.
Were they of age? Even if they were, well, hopefully. You know what? I'll take that back. If they are of age, good on him, I guess. But he preached anti-gay shit for years, and then was like, eating dick in private. So fuck him.
Because in the radio calls, they were like, one person was like, one of them were like, they 18, 19, 20 years old, they grown as fuck, and I was like, no, but I mean, yes, they're legal, but
he ain't commit no crimes.
No, yeah, exactly that. So. Yeah, I think they were quote unquote of age, but
they look mad young. Yeah, you also do get that scene just before this of him meeting this other kid who was like, "Man, I really look up to you," and and you get this like he's like, "Oh, you brought me to church and everything else. You were great," and you get this like, "Yeah, I kind of want to fuck that guy" vibe from Lee Curtis yet again. Because that guy just can't stop.
I didn't get that
I did think he was going to make a move.
You didn't get any? You didn't really?
No. What I got from it is, one, these people do believe, right? Like we've established that the Childs do believe, right?
Yeah.
I think that this guy coming up to him and saying, "Hey, man, I believe you. I believe in you," is something that he needed to hear. All this false bravado of like, I'm Rocky, I can do it. But he's never really had anybody say that to him. All he's had is people leave him. And here's this one person who comes up to this guy with a tremendous ego. And he says, "Hey man, you got me to come to church. I believe in you." That is what I think that's what he's like, you know what? It steals his resolve to want to go ahead and open this fucking church back up. Right. And I just didn't get the I want to fuck this guy vibe.
I agree with you, but I also think he wanted to fuck that guy.
Like two things. They can both be true.
Yeah.
It was
like he's literally like, he hugs him and then he holds the guy's side like a little too long. Like, and he's like staring into that guy's eyes, like and then he like touches the side of his head. Nah, man, I think he was also attracted to him. Like, but I
got that feeling too.
Like I feel like you're not wrong. Like I do think that does steal his reserve as far as like, I'm fight our way back and all this other stuff, and I'm glad somebody believes in me. But I also think that guy has a real problem with like, I really like young men, like, and it's like he can't get away from it. Like I think they're both things. That guy has all gold teeth, which is just weird. Like as a side note.
That guy's not attractive either.
Okay, I was trying to be nice. Don't do that.
He's not. He's not though. He's not though.
But I think you know what? I actually think, not that that's the point, but I actually think Lee Curtis's attraction to those men is that they are men, or they're young men who need like a father figure. I think that's his attraction to them is he is into broken birds, that sort of thing, right? So I think that's what it is. Like these, because we find out later when he gets confronted. Like I think and spoiler alert, that was kind of Eddie Long's thing, right? Like so, like I think that's what it is. It's like, oh, here's this vulnerable guy who's like on the cusp of like falling through the cracks kind of thing. I can save him. And I think that's a part of his sort of sexual, psychosexual thing with the constituents.
So there's a scene where Lee Curtis is practicing his non-apology apology, and
if you were offended,
yeah. Like not even he's not acknowledging that he's not acknowledging it. You know what I mean? Like that. And you can tell like Trinity is just kind of done. Like she's just like, nah, man, like do it again. Like
yeah, she's pretty pissed.
I ain't buying this shit. Right? Like I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, she's like make me believe.
Right. And that make me believe is, that's a metaphor for her feelings, right? Like, like make me believe you, like because you are full of shit. So makes me believe that you actually have changed. And, she's too fucking through, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the question that you have to ask. How long has she known that he's had these issues? I mean, he's had. I know the scandal came out, but like, your husband, y'all know each other,
right?
I think it's clear in that in the gym scene that she's probably known for a while.
Right.
Yeah,
like she's probably known for years, but they're a religious couple. And she can't get a divorce because of that. If they don't know, If the public doesn't know, and even though they know now, like she's still sticking by him because she's supposed to. So she's probably just over this nigga. She's sick of this motherfucker. Yeah, it's nonsense. But now it's rubbing off on her. Now she's getting the brunt of his nonsense. So now she's over it. But she was able to deal with it prior to that because it was.
Trinity's not like she's not like the hero. Right? She's
not. Well, also
she's not a hero.
Like she's also put a lot of work into building up this church too. So this is also hers. And as one of y'all said earlier, it's the religious aspect, but also this is a business. This is their livelihood as well. So he is quite literally fumbling the bag. And then you just have like the religious context added to that.
Yeah.
So
right.
Trinity talks to her mom because she's like, "Yo, I need something. I need some guidance, right? Like I'm putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this, and like I feel like it's all basically, getting ready to fall down again, and I need some help. What should I do?" And her mother's basically like, she's intimating that she kind of wants to leave him.
And she says, "I don't think I can do it anymore."
Right.
Yeah. And her mother's like, "Are you a Christian?" It's like, bitch, what? Yeah, mom.
I mean,
I think she even said like,
what's she gonna do? End up on Real Housewives of the Potomac?
Well, I think her mom was like, she said something like, "I was like, I don't wonder if my child has any sense or if my child has like lost her sense or something like that." It was something in that insulting manner. And then her mom goes and talks about how she stayed with her husband until like her husband died, which it made me wonder like, did you do something?
Murk this nigga?
He died. Come on, yo. God damn. God, Jesus Christ.
Get that.
Until that nigga died. Wink. What? But this is the indoctrination aspect, right? This is and it's quite literally, and I don't even mean from a like directly religious aspect, though it is tangentially, like that you are a woman, you need to know your place, no matter how fucked up this guy is to you. Because, like, yeah, sure, it's a scandal, yeah, it's in the public, but he's still fucked around outside of your marriage. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's not necessarily you're a woman, you need to know your place. It's you made a promise to God and that you would stick to this person. You would stick with this person through better or worse until you die. That is the that
like
is
your
the
dad.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
the thing
Like
that,
your daddy died.
Right. That's the
in
that's
that,
the thing
boating accident.
That's the thing that the mother is. That's the thing that the mother's harping on. That's that old school religious shit, right?
Nah.
Because back then we couldn't afford to have black families break up.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's quite frankly,
Yeah, that's
divorce is a fucking luxury.
Yeah.
It really is. And she has that mentality of like, nah, yo, you said you were gonna do this, do it. I remember back in the day, my dad was not the best person in the world. And I asked my mom once, I said, why don't you leave him? And he said, because I made a promise to God that I wouldn't. And that we will work through it, because that's what a marriage is. And unless he does something like absolutely unforgivable, which my father, he was just a bit of a dickhead when he got drunk, but he, at least to my knowledge, never like cheated on my mother or hit her or anything like that. He saved that for me. But if but that's where that shit comes from me, right? Like,
Yeah, makes sense.
Work through it. Like, unless you're in danger, like, work through it. That's that old school mentality. That's where the mother's coming from. And unless the mother is a psychopath like Tiara,
I mean,
she's just a fucking praying mantis.
Yeah, she's a fucking Black Widow.
Right, biting the heads off of men and shit.
Your daddy died. What happened to him? He ain't coming back. Don't worry about it. New daddy coming next week.
Okay, I just watched this scene, and I agree with you, Mike. It's kind of like earlier, where I think it could be a whole bunch of things at once. The point I was about earlier about the mother also kind of alluding to, look at what you have, is because the mom is like, well, after Trinity says, I don't know if we can make it, like the mom is like, that's not for you to know, that's for God to determine. And she's like, look at all of these blessings that you have right now. And I'm like, that's an interesting way of putting that. And it made me wonder, like, is she saying you guys have a really good marriage, or is she talking about the literal materialistic things that they have? That's what I got.
She's
from
talking.
Yeah,
I mean, she is talking about the material. She is talking about the materialistic things, because they are a blessing, right? Like, I am blessed to have a fucking house, right? Like, especially like
a house
from
a
the.
mansion.
This is a mansion. That's not a house.
Mansion. Like,
No,
I mean,
no.
What I'm saying is, Micah, like, I think you're right. I agree with what you said, but I think it's an and situation. I think you got to make the marriage work, because Trinity is later like, when did you stop running to the Bible about dad? And then she's like, when I buried him. We're like, killed your husband.
In the back,
I murdered that nigga.
I think it's all
after
of it.
I hit him with a shovel, I left the Bible. Like, God damn.
I think it's, my point is, I think it's both of those things. I think it's, yes, you need to stick by your husband, but also I think it's, you have a really good lifestyle.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
I think I agree with you. I agree with you, because, like, again, this older woman is just like, yo, look, I was married and all I got was you, and you married and you got all this, right? Like, so I agree with you.
And by proxy, I got some of it.
Right. Like, don't fuck this up.
Right. Right. Like,
yes.
I agree with you.
Don't fuck it up for me.
I just don't. Right. I just don't think "don't fuck it up for me" is the first thought that's in her mind. That's all.
I don't.
I don't know about that.
Look, I'm
Yo,
sorry.
wow.
Like, I don't like.
Look,
How wild is it that a person who is clearly a serial killer would care about anything else? No.
The thing that pissed me off. Well, first of all, she like tried to clown her. Like, are you foolish? And then she says, when she asks her that question, she's like, "How many times did you have to keep going back to the Bible when Daddy fucked up?" Which means it was probably a lot, right?
Yep.
So she had to constantly pray on her marriage. That's not a good marriage if you have to constantly pray on the shit to stay with them. That's ridiculous. That's nuts. But like, they're millionaires, so like, keep praying. So I can keep getting this money. So no, it's probably a little bit what you're saying, but I think it's like a 70-30. Stay with this nigga because y'all rich. And also,
I got the 70, right? Because like, if you got the 70, all right.
You got the 30.
Nah, I was gonna say,
you got to stick with your man through sickness and health, whatever. And he's sick, and technically he's sick, right? Because he's got a sickness because he's a homosexual. He just doesn't want to say it. Right? That's what they call it.
They call it sickness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, through sickness and in health, till death do us part. That's it.
Look, this entire scene, I do think this scene is very good, for all the reasons that you guys talked about. But like, that idea of almost the old school kind of bullying this person who is like, I am having serious doubts about this relationship, and sort of bullying them back into it, again, feels like a senior member of a cult bullying a junior member back in line. Like, that's what it feels like.
By the way, before anybody gets any ideas, no, I do not agree with the mother, right? I don't.
No, that ain't what you said. That ain't what you said. That's what I heard.
I don't agree that you need to be in a relationship that is not like that is bad for you. I'm trying to give you the perspective of someone who is devout, and their mentality, like why old people don't get divorced, right? Like like why your parents, well, okay, maybe my parents, but why when shit gets hard, they don't immediately quit. I'm just trying to give you that perspective.
Look, and
I've seen a relationship get really difficult and they didn't quit, but it was going to get to the point where they were about to, and it wasn't. And look, I don't have let's pray about it.
And look, I don't have a problem with you getting a divorce, right? Like I said, if you're in a bad relationship,
get out of there.
Get the fuck out of there. But back then, black people felt like we can't break up black families.
Yeah.
Now we just break them up all the time. Like, who gives a shit?
I mean,
honestly, it's kind of wild. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but religion, but divorce rates are high across everybody, right? Religious, non-religious, black, white, whatever. So, like, but I do feel like it's quite literally just being like, get back in line. You got a job, get back in line. And look, I understand the historical aspects, because I know that we're going to get comments from people who kind of half listen to this episode or just comment the second they hit play. The people are like, "Where's the movie?" And then the people after that, the dummies, they'll comment and say like, "The black church is a staple of the black community," and all this other stuff. And it is.
Yeah.
And
where's your moral barometer? Like, I don't need to go to church every week to know what my moral barometer is. Guys.
Right. If you do need to go to church to find your moral barometer, or at all, if you need to find your moral barometer at church, I think maybe you also killed your husband like this woman did. Like, you might be a psychopath. Like,
well, here's like, I understand people needing to to believe in something higher to find some direction in their lives.
Nothing wrong with that.
But
meditate.
Some people take it a little too far.
Sure. I mean, look, I think I don't have any problem with
meditation is just prayer. Get out of here. Meditation.
No, it's not. Meditation works.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You're sitting there with your thoughts. That's it.
All right.
You're sitting there
and
with
breathing and focusing on your breathing and
don't make me do it. Don't make me find NIH like legitimate studies on meditation. Ain't none on prayer.
Here Jay goes with his science. God,
it's meditation is just the atheist form of prayer. That's it.
No, it's what the fuck.
That's it.
no, it's not.
No, you know what prayer is. You know what prayer is. You know what prayer is. Is the religious version of like, hope I win the lottery. Hope my cousin win. Nah, it's wishing. That's wishing.
Not how I do
Yeah.
it.
You know what the difference is? It's just you just ain't throwing nickels in a fountain, nigga. That's
not how I do it. Nah, you're sitting there on your knees. You're sitting there on your knees, eyes closed, thinking about that. You don't meditate on your knees. How do you meditate? In a fucking lounge chair?
So
what the fuck are you doing?
No, I sit crisscross applesauce. You don't call it the other name. It's unacceptable.
That's offensive.
That is crisscross applesauce.
Everything offensive now.
Or lotus position.
Wait, what's the other name?
Look,
you know what it is.
Look,
you might not know what it is.
It's the same as if you give something to somebody and you take it back. Don't be one of them.
Fucked up.
Yeah, we as a country we've said some really horrendous things about those people, but it ain't right. There's 9 of them left.
Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Oh God, that is.
Look, Jerry, I got this at a cigar store. Like, it's unacceptable.
Oh God.
I forgot what we were doing. All right, so they're back on.
Yeah, they're honking for Jesus.
They're honking for Jesus, and Lee Curtis is like, "Yo, we're not getting any honks, yo. Like, we're not getting as many honks as we used to. You're gonna have to do that thing that you did that one time." And she's just like, "I don't want to do that." And she's like, "Come on, please, baby, please, like, just do it, yo." And she's really adamant about her not wanting to do this, because it's fucking offensive to her. And
it's offensive to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, right? Like,
fuck?
and we see that like the look on her face, yeah, like the look on her face is just like, she says you cannot be serious, and like she looks like she's about to cry. She's so fucking pissed, and he pulls out this like bullshit ass like, but I need to keep saving souls, right? Like, it's not for me, it's so that I can save souls, right? Like, plan on like some sort of weird Christian guilt. So Lee Curtis has Trinity paint her face white in mime makeup so she can do worship miming.
Fuck that. No.
So
no.
Here's
so mad.
Here's another thing about me that people may not know. Much like Christmas music early, I don't care for. I don't, and Micah actually might know this. I hate interpretive dance. Okay, in all forms, I hate it. Shout out to dancers who are listening who are immediately offended. This is me, myself personally. I don't care for it. I don't like seeing like the sun and the moon. Like, I hate that shit. It bothers me. I don't know why. I don't really have an explanation. I think we saw a lot of it in high school with like people doing really bad interpretive dance. I'm not a fan, and I'm definitely not a fan of someone doing that. A black person in my makeup. It bothers me. So I am very offended. I kind of want to fight Sterling K. Brown for real to make Christian Hall do this.
He quite literally made her look like a clown. Like, it's insulting. It's so insulting. And also, like, it's just, it shows that this man has no bottom to his depravity. Like,
Why is she crumpling?
who was that?
He was doing that shit was fucking hilarious.
like
what was that?
yeah.
You know, if I drove by a road and I saw a black woman in a church outfit with my makeup, I gotta pull over. You okay? Like, sister, are you okay? What have they done to you? Or I just assume she's a fucking lunatic. I mean, so what is the conversation behind the mime makeup, right? Like, quite literally, she is forced to be a clown for Lee Curtis to get him back to the position and the prestige that he thinks that he deserves, right? And it quite literally breaks her, right? Like, this is the thing that should be, I mean, there are many straws that should have broke her back a long time ago, but this one of just forcing her to look foolish, it's just wild to me. It's just super wild.
Well, Jay, you would have thought this would have been the straw that broke her back, but did it?
I don't think so. I don't think it was until that fucking black Charger pulled up.
Yeah,
I think that was the straw.
Speaking
and ran over her back.
Yeah.
So the car's passenger is revealed to be Khalil, the victim who will not accept the settlement. He bursts out in laughter and mocks Lee Curtis for his attempt to overcome the scandal. Trinity storms back to the church and confesses her grievances over her marriage and how their congregates have all turned on them because of the scandal. The documentary director, Anita Bonnet, asks Trinity why she won't leave Lee Curtis. Trinity rejects her question, dismissing Anita's true goal for the documentary to understand her and the church culture. So yeah, this is another really good scene of like this dude being called out on his bullshit, right? Like somebody actually standing up to this bully and him not being able to do anything about it.
Right.
He looks real small here.
Man, Sterling K. Brown, like, dude is like the master of just holding those tears like right behind his eyes all the time. Like, he's
does he have like some weird form of jaundice, like where he can just like keep his eyes, like the whites of his eyes, like just turn those bitches different colors and shit?
Yeah, they're always a little dark. Yeah,
they always look like he always looks like he's either high or about to cry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He kind of like his level of insecurity as a character and as a man throughout this movie is like it's on display. Underneath that bravado, right? Like Regina Hall's character is through, like, her entire performance is through clenched teeth. His is all, oh God, please don't look at me too closely or you'll see my secret. Right? Like, and I guess they kind of both have that, but hers is much more like self-protecting. At least that's how I read it. And just like the visual of this young man calling out Lee Curtis while his wife stands behind him in literal clown makeup is just that
Making
is
you look
that's
like
powerful.
a fool.
Yeah. And
Literally
so
out here, you look like a fool.
yeah, and he tries to like recover, and he's like, all right, let's get some more blessings. I need some more batteries and to get to keep going. And she just walks off. She's like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm tired of looking like a fucking moron. I get it.
And so with the confrontation that Regina Hall has, that Trinity has with the documentarian, you asked, you questioned, you didn't know what the director and writer who are sisters, what their views on religion are. I think this is it. I think this kind of answers it, right? Like, I feel like if they are like kind of somewhere in the middle, like I am, I think they're leaning over to your side more so than they're leaning on to the other side.
Come on over.
Because she asks like, hey, like, why don't you just leave him, right? And she basically goes up and she's like, nah, like, you don't understand, and you never wanted to understand, and she's lashing out because she doesn't know what to do, because she's confronted with a question that, like, of course I want to leave him, but I can't,
right?
And I'm trapped, and I really feel bad. This is the part where I truly feel bad for this character, because she actually has changed. Like, I believe at this point that she's willing to give up that lifestyle just to start over. And at least that's how Regina Hall, that's how I read it from her actions.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're off base there. The question is that you're like, okay, you're ready. Are you really going to pull the trigger on that? Right? Like, you can be mentally ready for it, but there's a lot. Like, shout out to Jamal Bryant's ex-wife. Like, she walked away from that dude. It was like, I'm out. I mean, she went right on to a TV show, so it was
she walked away from it and then, like,
into
immediately
money.
Exploded, and it immediately exploited the situation.
Right. Like, I don't fully respect that.
I'm not mad at you. Right. I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I get
money.
it.
Yeah, get your money.
Right. Like, I'm not mad at you, but, like, you ain't no hero either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, just walk away. Be like, you know what?
Right.
I'm gonna go and get a job down at the phone company and, like, just live my life.
No, exploit it. No. What? No. What the hell?
No. Stay high moral grounds. Well,
fuck that. No. Get your money. Leave that nigga,
wow.
and then go on your reality show, and you get paid. Don't listen to these men.
No. I think it's unfair that she's exploiting. Look, here's my thing. Just divorce him and get money.
Do you agree with her trading on the name?
Oh, did she keep Bryant?
Yeah.
I
think her name is Giselle Bryant.
Yeah, it is. That's right. Right. Nah, I don't like that. You got give it up.
To leave.
Nah, give up that name.
No, the name of the game is getting paid.
That's
I'm
not.
sorry. Like, I mean, look.
The name of the game of the game is Jesus. I'm sorry. No, she shouldn't be doing that. She's a good Christian woman. She should change her name back to who gives a fuck last name.
Jesus
and just move on
wants me to live a blessed and bountiful life. Get paid.
Damn, do you say that in the Bible? I don't know. I've never read it. I need the Cliff Notes. Yeah, look, I do think it's cool. Like, not cool, but I do think it takes balls to walk away from this lifestyle if you're being, like, especially if you're getting publicly humiliated by your spouse. I do think it does, because again, it takes balls to leave a cult.
If they don't kill you first,
right? Like that woman did her husband. So, like, it's it's our conspiracy theory is that she's a fucking murderer. But I think it takes balls. And the cult part I'm talking about is, like, the prosperity megachurch part, not even your religion. You don't have to leave your religion. I'm just saying to walk away from this. This part feels very cultish. I mean, I think religion is largely, I mean, the difference between a cult and religion is just numbers. But speaking specifically on this,
I mean, how long have you been sitting on that?
I mean,
that one in the fucking Glock.
I'm just saying it is.
Shot that shit like a sharpshooter, boy. Like, I'm gonna get your ass, nigga. You believing in your fucking spaghetti monster? Bam! Just numbers, bitch.
I mean, it is. But like this aspect of Christianity to me is very bothersome, right? Like, People going to church and like, oh, singing about God or whatever. That doesn't bother me. This aspect of fleecing black people and getting jets and helicopters and high-end suits and pastors wearing big gold chains and all this other shit, that's rapper shit. Like, it quite literally is rapper behavior. And these guys, I mean, by the way, Creflo Dollar like literally had Snoop Dogg at his church at one point. Like, the shit is wild, right? Like, that's rapper behavior. And that to me should be concerning to all black people, that this has started to permeate the black church in big ways. Because if you're talking about defending the black church, you have to push back against this, because this takes away the seriousness of what the black church stood for. This shit is a joke. Like, Creflo Dollar and all these other guys who are just out there just making money, they're not on the same level of Martin Luther King or any of those guys. They're not. Jamal Bryant, I'm there to save the community. You ever see that video where people are like, get the fuck out of our neighborhood? Yeah. Because that guy doesn't.
I've never seen that.
It's a great video. It's a wonderful video. But like,
Baltimore.
Yeah, it was in Baltimore. And like it's because they don't stand for anything. They only stand for themselves and how much money they can rake in. So yes, you can be upset with me for saying what I said, but don't defend this shit. Like, this shit is not the black church. This is black people figuring out how to get in on the grift. And you should not be cool with those specific black people. Like, that shit is unacceptable to me.
So, but yes. So what does that say about the people who are vulnerable to this, who are giving their money? Because, like, as you mentioned, that the church
they're being used.
That you mentioned earlier has 20,000 people, but 12,000 people are attending and giving money. They see what's happening. Why do you think that they are still attending the churches of these pastors at these megachurches?
Look, the same reason. There are, obviously there's deep religious aspects to that, right? But at the end of the day, it's the same reason that people follow certain quarterbacks every Sunday. They're fanatics. They're fanatics. They are. They're fanatics. I'm not talking again. I'm not talking about being religious. I'm talking about going to these specific churches. Dude, 12,000 people, that's broadcast on the fucking internet, and it's a huge thing.
Sometimes I'm not going to say that they're all fanatics. I'm going to say that sometimes that is the only place that they can go to worship. Sometimes it is the only place that sometimes I gotta fucking mute this shit.
In Atlanta?
Sometimes it's the only place where like it's their church home, right? Like,
sure,
it's. I'm not going to say that everyone follows. A lot of people do, right? But they do because they're familiar with this person, right? It's someone you grew up with. It's someone who just to boil it down to just they're fanatics is lacks a certain level of a certain level of empathy and nuance that I'm actually kind of surprised.
Yeah, I will give you that. I went to a church where I grew up there. I was there since I was 3. It wasn't always a huge mega church. That's 100%. My grandmother went there back before that reverend came and all this other shit. But you don't get to 12,000 people without a very large percentage of those people being what I'm saying. Like, yeah, the church I started with probably had 250 people. Sure. But by the time I left, each service was like 5,000 people. That's fanaticism to me. Like, that's not all 5,000, but a lot of those people are there for that one guy. It's not because of just being generally religious. It's for that one guy. Joel Osteen, all of those people are there. They can't go anywhere else?
Are all the people who voted for Biden fanatics for Biden?
No, they don't wear fucking hats. But would you say most of the people who voted for Trump are? I would.
Those I'm not talking about them because it doesn't work for my argument. I'm talking about
fair enough.
Fair enough. That is so honest. Okay.
I object. That's
I'm
fair.
talking about the fact that, like, yes, there are fanatics.
Of course.
I don't think everyone is a fanatic.
No, I don't
And
think
that's just how it
everyone is a
came off.
fanatic. Yeah, no.
And
So
that's all I wanted to hear you say. That's all I wanted to hear you say.
Yeah, no. I don't think they're all fanatics, but I don't think you reach 12,000 weekly people attending without a serious level of fanaticism. I just don't think you do.
So I think it's
Or get a jet.
I'm
fanatics.
so
Like,
glad.
Right.
I was waiting for someone to bring up politics here because this is like
It's a big fucking
way
part
to
of
kind
this.
It's a big part of it. Like,
Yeah.
You're right. Like, no, you wouldn't see people you wouldn't see this with Joe Biden, but you do see a lot with Trump and the Republican Party, but definitely Trump. I think it's for mega churches like that, you do attract a certain type of person who is probably vulnerable, maybe mentally, emotionally, that is susceptible to fanaticism. I think you have those people, as Micah mentioned, who truly believe and this is their place of worship and that's where they go. And I think there's another aspect to it, which is they are attracted to the prosperity part, because in this movie, you see Lee Curtis when they do basically like the sort of, I guess, not a flashback, but they show you his previous sermons where he says, I got all of this because I worked hard, blah, 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 blah. And I do think that there are people who believe that if they listen to someone who has it made, that God will bless them in that same way too. So I think it's all of it.
I saw a white pastor, prosperity preacher. I can't remember what his name was, but like he was preaching. I watched a YouTube video about Joel Osteen, and he's a prosperity preacher. And they had clips of other preachers, and one was like, okay, we want you to tithe, and like there's different levels. Like if you got like the $1,000 tithe, you're going to get more blessings in return. If you give you like $500, that's fine. But like 1,000, yeah, we'll get you like
that's like Oral Roberts.
You put more into you put more into the blessings. You'll get more blessings. The more blessings you put in, the more you'll get out of it.
You get out of it
while you give me money for a jet, because I need this as a preaching tool to preach around the world. That's what he called it.
I think in the
Bahamas.
There's
a sucker born every minute. Yeah.
I think I understand the disconnect that I'm having with you all. I'm better than you. No.
That's the problem with religion right there. You all think you're better than us.
You're fucking judgmental. And honestly, that's supposed to be the opposite, right?
We don't think we're better.
Uh-huh.
We know we're better.
Right. That's the difference. It's knowing.
I think the disconnect is you all are referring to prosperity preachers, and I don't.
Well, that's what this movie is.
Right, that's what this movie's about.
I'm not talking about regular church.
Well, that's why I asked that question about why do you think so many people would be attracted to a mega church like that?
That's my biggest issue on mega churches. Like,
right, I don't care about a church with
mom and pop church down the street. No, I'm talking about these. Like the Joel Osteens.
Joel Osteen's church has 45,000 attendees a week. What the fuck? Come on, that's insane.
I'm looking at a list of the richest pastors in America, and these people, I wouldn't go to these people's churches. Part of it is people for some reason believe in the prosperity theology of you sow your seed and then it'll grow, right? Nah, that's nonsense.
The more seeds you plant, 1,000,
right?
The more you might get back.
I'm here to tell you that is fucking nonsense. Okay.
If you throw 50 nickels into a pond, then you'll get 50 wishes. No.
Yeah, that's not true. That's just impractical. It's not true. It's false. But another reason is we've made these people celebrities, right?
Yes.
Kenneth Copeland, Pat Robertson, Joel Osteen, Benny Hinn, Stephen Furtick Jr. I don't know who the fuck that is. Creflo Dollar, Rick Warren, Jesse Duplantis, T.D. Jakes, Joyce Mayer, Paula White. Like she was Trump's preacher or whatever.
Isn't
right?
that like he kind of wanted to fuck her? That was kind of obvious.
He wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, he kind of did. I was like,
Because
I see you, nigga. I see you. You ain't going to church. He only believes in
Right.
money. He don't believe in God.
Number 15 on that list is Jamal Bryant.
Hey,
And we've made these people celebrities, and that's one thing. That's the one thing that I do not agree with, giving these people that type of celebrity, that type of power, right? Like that, giving these people the Malcolm X, like hold your hand up and everybody's silent, and then just point that way and everybody start walking. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Right. I really don't. Like
Well-
when I go to church, I'm here for a message. I'm here to hear something that might uplift me, and then I am back upstairs in my pajamas and going back to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the tablet don't just get laid in the bed. Like y'all going downstairs? God damn.
Yeah.
Your Wi-Fi broken or some
mean,
shit?
The thing is that for a lot of people want to hear a message that is like, yeah, but I want the peach
Right.
Prada too. Like
Yeah.
I want the mansion. I want the fancy car. Which, you know, I'm not gonna hate on someone like that, but
You ain't gonna get it from that nigga.
I don't.
Yeah, if
I don't
you-
want to.
Pro tip: if you want all that shit, you're not gonna get it by giving your money away.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I never understood that.
That's
Like,
the craziest
Be
shit I've
selfish
ever
with your
heard.
money and take other people's money. That's how you get it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Now, look,
Like they'll like open a soup kitchen or some shit like that every once in a while. Feed the homeless. The homeless people that they probably wouldn't even let in their church because they can't pay or tithe, right? Like those people in those mega churches, ain't no poor people in there.
they can't afford it.
That's
You
what I'm
can't
saying.
afford
Like you
walking
can't
in-
tithe. They be like, nigga, go take a shower. Like, but you're a church though.
It's like at a strip club. Like it's a 2-drink minimum to get in here. man.
2 times.
That's fucking insane. That's
But-
insane to me. How is your church exclusive? Yeah,
Yeah,
Explain
that's
that to me.
yeah. It seems to
That's
go
what
against
my church
that hippie guy you guys always talk about in the book. But
One
you
thing I
know,
don't like about my church. One thing I don't like about my church. They have 2 offerings in a service. Like they do 2 offerings in a service, and I'm like, come on, yo! Like this is a bunch of bullshit, yo. Like, I don't mind
it's very
mind throwing
simple.
$1 in there, but like I'm not throwing $2 in there. Like, look, if I'm throwing $2 in, you getting $1 in the first one and 1 in the second one, not 2 and 2. This ain't fucking Love Connection. Get the fuck out of here.
I was gonna suggest you just go to the bank and be like, let me get a bunch of 50-cent pieces.
Get a roll of quarters.
Like, knock it off.
this whole discussion just had me going back and forth in my mind. Like, am I ready to step into my villain agenda and start a church? Like,
Look, we'll support
because
you.
clearly-
Look, I'd like to be a silent investor. You can't have my atheist ass up front. They will not. They were like, I'm not buying this.
No,
But like,
then you would be perfect for the job. Yes.
I'm happy to invest. But like here's my thing, and I couldn't even do that because I don't believe in grifting people for their money. I have morals. Like it's weird. I don't think you should
I'm
do
an
that.
actual good person, so I'm like, that seems so wrong.
I couldn't do
I
it.
couldn't do that to someone. No.
Even if I believed in the religion, I couldn't do that. But Micah, you mentioned that you don't like that we've made them into celebrities. Well,
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
and what do celebrities have? Fans. Like people are legitimately fucking fans of Joel Osteen. Like we went to high school with people. I see them on Facebook. I'm not on there anymore, but they would be like, "Oh, this thing from Joel Osteen was awesome." They don't live in Houston. They watch that dude on the internet. They're fans.
And
They're
what
just
I'm
fans.
saying, and all I'm saying is like
It's not everybody.
who has listened to Joel Osteen is a fan, right?
Right.
My wife has listened to Joel Osteen a Joel Osteen podcast while running. Aaron, goddamn to you, she ain't handing out no dollar bills to no Joel Osteen.
I sent in a check for $1,000 to plant 1,000 plants. Like, girl, if you don't call and get that money back, cancel that check.
I don't know how many younger people listen to this, but if you're on TikTok, this is the perfect time to become a Christian TikTok influencer and start.
They get us. Get that
Good
money. Lord. But I do want to point out something that I think is that is important. With every aspect of sort of, black issues and, and things like that, we always have to draw a through line, which is that this is white people's fault. Because it is.
Look,
oh, yeah.
I just listened to the 3rd episode of Behind the Bastards on fucking Christopher Columbus.
Oh, good Lord.
He was basically a crusader.
Yeah, he was.
He was a religious crusader, and he wiped out an entire fucking group of people.
Yeah,
literally in the West Indies. It's fucked up. But he was trying to get them to become Christians,
and when they didn't convert, he killed them.
And and also slaves. That was the other thing.
Yeah, you know what?
And a lot of them were like, this religion is kind of trash. So they ended up killing themselves. Because they killed themselves because they're stronger than us. It's not much we can do, and we don't like what they're trying to make us become. So we're just going to go ahead and kill ourselves, by destroying our crops and bread and jumping off cliffs and shit like that. Because it's kind of like that thing. What is that thing? Well, Killmonger.
Oh
yeah, my ancestors knew that it was better to jump off the boat. It's but they didn't though. That was a weird line because they really didn't know what they were walking into because they didn't know.
Yeah,
it wasn't wasn't like
really
a messenger pigeon came back and was like, "Yo, these niggas, they'd be slaves over there." Like they didn't know that. It was just a dope line to hear. But anyway, so yeah, it is white people's fault.
Yeah,
white people are the devil.
Pentecostalism, New Thought, in the quote American gospel of pragmatism, individualism, and upward mobility. Those are the 3 intersections that created prosperity gospel. So this very idea of rugged individualism and upward mobility in the U.S. is a big part of the reason why this exists, and black people's inability to be a part of that at the time. Quite literally, Andrew Carnegie was one of the biggest proponents of this, the gospel of wealth. We weren't allowed to, right? We weren't capable of generating this kind of wealth and stuff like that. But when we were, people took advantage of it. And now look where we are. So, again, always a through line, blame the whites.
Yep.
If you just blanketly blame them, you're probably right 98% of the time.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's not bad. So
almost betting 1,000.
Yeah. So there you go. What the fuck is muscular Christianity? Is that like those strong guys?
That's the niggas that be fucking breaking bricks with their heads.
You remember that? You remember from that?
Yeah, what's the show on HBO? Yeah,
the other.
Yeah,
the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah,
the Gemstone show. That other son who was just really like he was
really
the Vince
gay
McMahon family. Just love fucking beefcake and shit.
Yeah, characterized by a belief in patriotic duty, discipline, self-sacrifice, masculinity, and moral and physical beauty of athleticism. Muscular Christianity. You learn something new every day, man. Jesus Christ. What are you people doing?
Everything's a hustle.
Hey, I'm fucking benching 405 for Jesus. Like, all right, relax.
Okay, dude.
So,
all right, power
for
Jesus.
All right, last bit of this movie, Mike, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Damn. Okay.
Oh shit. We still. Oh, okay.
All right.
The church reopens per the revised plan. 2 weeks before Easter, where Lee Curtis and Trinity stand outside waiting for people to show up, but nobody shows up except for the devout five. A Mustang drives up to the front only to whirl around in it in the lot. It's called Doing Donuts, Wikipedia.
Yes,
It's
Right, what the fuck?
whirling. They were just whirling. I don't know what that means.
It's revealed that the Sumters had also moved up their opening of Heaven's Home 2 weeks before Easter, their intention to give the Easter opening to the Childs, earning great success and getting many congregants. So look, turns out the people who actually are good people who, and it remains to be seen whether or not like money will change them. But for now, the Sumters were trying to be good, and you know what? They were like, you know what? Let's let these people have Easter. It's the Christian thing to do. Yeah, and it came back on the Childses. We end with Lee Curtis saying, they coming, they gonna come, they gonna come, and Trinity just looking at the camera, like this nigga, like this, like what the fuck, right? But she's wearing that $2,300 hat, and I like the in the corner the little sparkle, just to kind of remind you that, like, yeah, but she kind of wanted this, you know what I mean? Like, like she kind of wanted it. So I do like this movie. I think if you have an open mind, you will like it too. But most people, they take religion very, very seriously, a little too seriously. Like, I believe, but I don't take it like as seriously as y'all do. Not y'all, but like y'all. And and I don't think you can. But y'all are the people that need to see this shit. So,
I think it's interesting that the Sumters, as she said, Micah, gave up Easter because the Christian thing to do. But the reason that Lee Curtis decided to not open up on Easter and pushed it up a bit was purely out of ego and spite.
He's trying to undercut him.
That's ego.
Yep.
Edging God out. That's a terrible.
I don't say that.
That's not good at all.
Edging is
edging is an interesting term to use because what do we mean?
I was like, nigga, what is wrong with
Edging
you?
how?
Yeah. So I come to
I
my
didn't
church.
understand the Mustang doing donuts in the parking lot. Did that have any kind of significance?
I think that was kind of just like some teenagers being like, "Who gives a fuck?" And they just misread it as it being significant.
No,
because there's nothing going on in that parking lot. So,
yeah,
for the last year. Also, doing donuts is wild and silly. All right, I think that's it. Any other parting comments?
This was long.
Great show, great movie.
All right, there you go. I guess the only way to end this, TR, do you want to say amen or?
Fuck off. I don't say amen. I say amen. Like a normal person.
No, I'm gonna edit that. Anyway, all right. All right, we will see you guys next week for another preview episode.
See you.
Bye.
Stay blessed. Amen.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.